Maybe if I buy some really expensive ones, I'll like them. I've used some of the cheaper sintered burrs and not been so enthusiastic or happy about them. I'm sure that they have their place, but there's a lot of $7, $8, $10, $12 sintered burrs on the market these days, and I generally will prefer plated burrs, especially a quality plated burr. I would rather have a burr from Lasco of equivalent price than any of the sintered burrs of those prices. But like I said, I haven't used the $30, $40 a piece sintered burrs, so I don't know what to say about them. But here you go. Splash setup, bucket, tray, whatever to catch water. Foot pedals down here for running the micromotors, on, off, and speed selection over here for the brushless servo motor for this. This is using a lathe head off of a cheap Harbor Freight lathe. You can pick them up used. You can put new bearings in them anytime, so you don't have to worry about them. You do want to make sure that you have this properly wired electrically. There is a ground fault interrupter or something like that. It's a circuit breaker that helps protect you when you're working with wet stuff. Anything you do with something like this is at your own risk. You have to use, I strongly advise safety glasses. Also, a respirator mask. Even with all this stuff, if you're creating a lot of dust, you need to use something effective and rated for fine stone dust, because it's not good for you. So another thing that I recommend is optics. If you can see better while you're doing your art than you do normally with your normal eyes, you will do better work. So if you're able to see great detail using optics, eyeglasses of some variety that enhances your vision, or like an optivisor, you're going to do better detail work, at least, and you're going to have a better finish on your stuff. So if you look and you're satisfied with the look with the optics on, with enhanced vision when you take them off, and you have normal eyes like everybody else, your product is going to look a lot better than it would if you weren't wearing those, because you finished it to a higher level than you would have otherwise. So this is one of my workstations, and it is a full-time workstation, so it gets messy. And this is my rough carving stuff. I use these areas mostly these days for breaking down a stone or cutting down a bigger stone and creating some sort of form that I can more readily approach with smaller detailed burrs, because I'm really enjoying a lot of detailed work these days. So you can do detailed work in a station like this, especially if you're wearing the optics and stuff. But I like to separate things sometimes and have a place that I can, really remove material, get it dirty, make more noise, whatever. And then I like an area where it makes me feel more attuned and precise to the stone and working with the stone. So over here's burrs. I have burrs everywhere. There's stones everywhere. It's a mess, but it's supposed to be a mess. It's where I work. Burrs. This is my first one I had built. I've modified it. It has a sink. It's got a large open space here. Bunch of different jade messing around. Burrs stuck in just a foam. These are pipe warmers, or I don't know what they're called. You get them at a hardware store, and you can use pool noodles or whatever, but just these foam things, and you can stick them on places, and it provides some protection, and they're soft. You can stick burrs in them. You can take burrs out, whatever. As you see, here's a cheap, this was like 80-90 bucks or something, a Marathon 3. This is a brushed motor. It's not my favorite, but it works. You can start carving. You can do anything that I do with one of these, if you only, put your mind to it. Here's another. This is a nicer brushed model micromotor, and various stuff, some burrs, some jade over here, and just piles of mess, because this is just a constant work area with stuff changing all the time, and it just is what it is. And again, ducting going up, pictures, you print them out, ideas, nice jade sitting around, and back to this other tool. So anyways, these are some basics to get you started. If you want to carve, you need to set up an area where it's removing the dust, and where you can keep your stone or jade, gemstone, whatever, where you can keep it wet. You can figure out and make a drip line of anything, and you can control the amount of water that flows on your work. You're going to have to do that. You need to take precautions of your safety. If you're creating lots of dust that's going in the air, you do not want it in a house where other people are living and breathing and stuff. So don't set up something in your living room where your kids are playing, where you're going to have a whole bunch of dust going in the air that they shouldn't be breathing. And it does travel around. It does move no matter what you do. So if you're doing a lot of rough work, definitely get a good fan blowing out. You can rig up vacuums to do stuff, shop vacs. I've done that. They consume a lot more electricity. They do pull well. If you have a large shop vac, you can set up a really nice dust extraction unit. But if you spend the hours that I do carving, you will see that on your electric bill big time. It's surprising. And I'm sure that those shop vacs aren't made for extended running, the kind of hours that I pull. So light, again, major thing. These little LED lights are great. You can get all different kinds and all kinds of price ranges. My first carving setup, I'll tell you, was not very expensive. So your investment should be depending upon how serious you are about it and how much you like it. You want to try it first. I guarantee that if you try it, there's a huge percentage of people that will walk away and never want to do it again. One reason is the sound of the dental tools. These are basically dental tools, dental motors, and they make a sound when grinding on the stone that is much more intense than that of grinding on your teeth. So if you don't like the tool of dental motors, if you don't like that sound, it's probably not the art form for you. You can wear noise canceling headphones. I do. It's pretty much a must. You're still going to hear noise. There's also vibration through the hand pieces. The brushless motors are the smoothest, really nice to work with. But if you have, and I have arthritis problems with my hands and stuff, and it's probably from this, but some people will have more problems than others. There's a lot of stress on your hand holding this, and again, for long hours. If you're just doing a little thing and you want to fool around now and then and make some fun things, buy a cheap little micromotor. You can set up outside with some drip system sort of thing, and wear your dust mask, and you don't even need a fan. Just be really careful. Wear an appropriate dust mask. Some people even just dip a stone in a bowl of water. I've never found that to be effective or work, and you can put up a shield or something in front of you, and you can see how much dust is coming off when you're working and coming towards you, and I've never found that to be a very safe, effective method for large scale work. If you're just doing little engravings on a cabochon, I'm sure that's fine. But otherwise, I think that using plenty of water is often very important. The other thing is water often makes it where your work is not very visible. It's difficult to see. So anyways, I hope this gets some people started. If it's the right art for you, I hope that this helps open a door and answer some questions that you need. I think a lot of it is, if you can't figure out some of these basics from a video like this, also it's not going to be something for you to do. You have to be able to research, study, investigate, choose which stones are the best, find and source materials. You can't just rely on anybody to just do that for you, because nobody's going to do your art for you, and that's part of it. Part of doing your art is learning about your art, studying, investigating, and researching. So don't expect anybody to just answer 100 of your questions every day, because they can't, and it's up to you. Investigate, study, learn. If it's your passion, you're going to do it. If it's not, you're not going to do it, no matter what anybody does for you or answers for you. So also, first thing, and one of the most important things, whatever you're carving, choose something that you love. Choose something that is important to you, passionate for you. So if you're a person that loves growing hot peppers,